Welcome to my Java video series. Today I am going to talk about prepared statement. In previous batch we have taken different examples on the normal insert update delete operations and connectivity technique, and today we'll cover some more topic in this prepared statement series. So this will cover up here parameterized queries, and sometime it is also known as dynamic SQL. We'll talk little bit about SQL injection, and we'll compare here prepared statement versus statement objects. So let's begin from the prepared statement. So prepared statement is one object which is your extension of a statement. So we have already seen java.sql.statement, and prepared statement is an extension of this statement object. So this is how you could see the relationship between these two objects. And there is one more statement used in Java, and which is called callable statement, and callable statement is an extension of the prepared statement. So this is how the Java library is organized. So this is your interface. This is used to handle your basic insert update delete operations, and we have extended version of this statement which is called another pre prepared statement. And prepared statement will uh, support will offer you some extended support like parameterized query, SQL injection handling, and some uh, parser caching. And we have one more statement here which is called callable statement. It is exclusively supported for stored procedure handling. So we can handle the stored procedure call through this callable statement. So let's begin with the dynamic query first, then we'll talk more about the prepared statement. So my today's discussion is all around this prepared statement. So let me take you through one small example. So open a NetBeans here. Let me discuss the problem first. So what is the problem with the existing statement, then how prepared statement can answer those problems. Now this is my project. We have created different examples here related to JDBC, and let me copy one example from this existing. So I'm going to take here the simple example. So copy paste this. Let me call it dynamic query demo. So what do you mean by dynamic query? Dynamic query means the data will be supplied from the user, or it will be supplied from the form, and that data will be incorporated in a query, and then it will be run. So this is called dynamic SQL, and I'm going to take this data. This particular data will be taken from the form. So my rest of the connectivity will be same. So uh, these are the statements to establish the connection, and then we created here statement object. Now this particular data will be taken from the user. So let me write a small code to take the data from user. So we can take the data using a small pop-up which is available in AWT Swing API. So here I'm going to take here name will be assigned to this variable, and J option panel that's j option pane dot so input dialog. So this input dialog will read some data from the user with the help of a small pop-up. So you can take here enter name. So this will ask for name input, and look at this one important thing I have done here. I have imported this package here java.x.swing. Now let me take some more value here from the user. So you can take here salary, this is your salary, and I call here enter salary, and salary is a float type, so you can convert the salary into float. So I'm going to use here float fs, float salary, and how to convert this, parse float salary. Okay, right. So you can convert your string form into the float with the help of this parsing procedure. Now I have to bind these inputs, user inputs, to the query. So this can be done through a small concatenation approach. So remove this Vikram and put here double quote, and now plus plus, and this name will be concat here. So this is how you could add, and now you can replace this salary with the dynamic salary. So just a minute, just a minute, just a minute. So add here data, this is fs float salary, and remove this additional double quote here. Fine. So this is called a dynamic query. So this is called a dynamic query. Why it is dynamic query? Because it is created from the data provided by the user. So this is quite difficult. Sometime you may add some problem here, because this is quite difficult to use double quote, single quote, plus, then value, then again plus, double quote, single quote, comma, then double quote. So this kind of syntax will be sometime creating the problem, and it is difficult. So right now it is not that much difficult because we have only two fields, but when you have 20 columns here, it will be complicated. So this is not a good idea to use this kind of dynamic queries. But anyway, let me talk about the problem here, then we'll understand the solution. Okay, let's run this. Oh, we have got a problem here. What is the problem? Okay, this is the problem related to communication. I think my database server is not running. Look at this, communication link failure, means some problem in connecting to the database server. Yes, I got it. I need to start my server. So where is my server? So go to this program files, and it is located in this MySQL bin, and you will see here MySQL D, and this is MySQL D. Okay, fine. Start the server here. Okay, fine, things are all ready. Now again run the program. So when server is stopped, you cannot connect. So I started the server. Look at this, it is asking for the name. So let me enter here Vikram Thakur. So I entered here my name, and salary I'm going to input here. This is my salary, and save this. So there is no problem, it is stored successfully. Let me check the record from the command line terminal. So go to the command line tool here. So this is your cmd, connect to the server here, mysql user root desp, and enter the password. This is mysql is password in my case. So now use database here. I'm working on test underscore db. Okay, select the record here, select star from employee table, and right, this is the data I inserted from my program. This is the salary, you can check here. I inserted this salary from my program. So this is how you can see. So this procedure is creating your dynamic query. So let me talk about a good practice. So sometime it is good to print here SQL, because what will be the final dynamic query generated you can print here. So sometime this can help you to find out the errors. So this is quite difficult to understand, but when you print the query you will get the final version of this dynamic query. So this is a good idea. So let me show you again. Run this again, enter here some data Raj and enter salary will be, this is salary. Okay, look at the final dynamic query. So this is how the dynamic query is generated, and this is the right syntax. Look at this, string value is enclosed inside single quote. This is correct standard according to the SQL, and this is a numeric value, you can directly put this. And now let me talk about the problem. First check the data here. So this is your Raj, I entered from my program. Now this is 10th record here. Go to the application and again run it. Let me show you a major problem, a critical problem in this area. So enter here a name called Peter D'Souza. So look at the problem here. Look at the name here, D'Souza. How I write this name? D apostrophe S SUZA. Okay. Now look at the problem in this kind of naming. So you can see here. Let me zoom this. This is Peter D'Souza. Okay, fine. Now, okay, salary would be, this is salary, and enter this. Look at the problem here. And what is the problem here? You can see the problem here, MySQL syntax error exception. You have error in your syntax. Okay, fine, you can read this whole message, and the problem you can identify here. So string started here single quote, and this is closed here. So D is considered under this Peter D. And what about this? So what about this additional single quote here? So this additional single quote is creating the problem, because the D'Souza single quote is closing your string. So this is the problem. So this is called SQL injection. So this is one small example in SQL injection. It has a lot of things. There are some more associated things you will see in SQL injection, but this is one problem associated to SQL injection. So I can handle these problems through the prepared statements. So now let's begin with the prepared statement. So let me copy this same program, and I rename this to PST, prepared statement. So this is my program, and I need to modify this query through this. Let me replace the concatenation statement with the question mark, and the value for name will be question mark, and salary will be question marks. So the first question mark, this first question mark is mapped to the name, and second question mark is mapped to the salary. Now so you can have more set of columns here, and the total count of columns would be equivalent to the total count of question marks. Okay, fine. So this is your parameterized query. And what is the meaning of this question mark? Question mark is called a parameter. This is called a parameter, or you can call a placeholder, because this will accept the value here for this will value for the question mark, this will accept the value for the question mark here. Now user has provided here some data. I need to remove this statement here, and let me replace this to the prepared statement. To create a prepared statement you must require a query. So I created a query, and I call this object as prepared statement, and there is a method called prepare statement. So this method will take one argument here, and that argument is nothing but your query. So now your prepared statement is ready. So you need to bind here data, bind data or parameters to PST. So how to do this? So there are convenient methods for this purpose. So string set string, Why string? Because I'm going to set the value for name, and name is a field of type. It's a string type data, so it's a varchar in the database, and it is mapped in Java through the string. So first question mark, and put here name. So what about this what about this one? So this one is a column index, so this is column index 1, this is column index 2, and similarly this name is mapped to first question mark, salary is mapped to second question marks. So 1 is a column index, so column index 1 means name, so put the name here. Now second value I can use here, prepared statement dot second value is salary, and salary of type float, so salary will be float salary. So this is how you can see. Now it's time to run. No need to print here, so just run this prepared statement dot execute. Remember this, no argument required here. Why it is not required? Because already you supplied the argument here, so the SQL statement is already supplied here inside the prepared statement, and that's why no SQL as argument required here. Now at the end of the processing, close the prepared statement also. So this is how you can see. Now run this, try this. I'm going to enter here my name Vikram, and salary is, this is my salary, enter, fine, there is no problem. And now go to the terminal here and check the data. Look at the data here, you can see here this Vikram I entered from my program. Now let me solve this, let me check the Peter D'Souza, let me check here SQL injection problem, so which is earlier we seen from the statement. So try this. Peter, name is Peter D apostrophe D'Souza, okay fine. Now salary is 45, this is salary, and now check this. Okay fine, there is no problem, it has run your query successfully. Now check the data here, can you see Peter D'Souza here? Yes. So this is the problem earlier with this statement, we cannot store any data containing this apostrophe. So I cannot restrict to the user that do not insert any name which is containing this apostrophe. So we need to handle these things with the help of our technology. So prepared statement is a right choice to handle the SQL injection. So this is very simple. There are a lot of advantages you will see by making this by using the prepared statement here. The very first advantage is dynamic query building will be simple. So writing query like this will be always easier, because the problem we have seen from the previous dynamic query like this is a complicated procedure, single quote, double quote, comma, plus double quote, single quote, so this is complicated. So creating dynamic query will be uh, may create some different errors when you have multiple columns here. So but when you have n number of columns in your query, don't worry, because all queries will be represented like this, and there are convenient methods available to bind the data for the specific column index. So this is very simple. And one more advantage behind this prepared statement is it is actually uh, recommended to use for similar queries. So why similar queries? Because when you run a similar query, it is internally doing the uh, it is internally reusing the parser object. So the parsing of query will be done only once, and for next query the parser will be reused, so that it will improve your performance. So we'll compare the statement and prepared statement now. So this is how we can see. Now it's time to talk about the small comparison on prepared statement versus statement. So have a look at the old scenario. So suppose this is my Java client and this is my database server. So let me call here database server, and this is your Java application. So I'm going to run here three different queries. Suppose this is my SQL1, this is SQL2, and this is SQL3. Okay, fine. Now let me take a copy here. Okay, fine. Now when you run your query in database server, what will happen here? So when you run your query in database server, few tasks will be done internally. One is parse your query, so and then execute your query. Parsing will check the syntax, it will check the keywords, whether you have been using right keywords or something wrong. It will check your syntax, whether things are all arranged in a right way. So it will do the parsing here internally. So parsing will be done, then your query will be executed. Now these two steps will be done for every query. So for this second query, both statements will be executed. For third query, both steps will be done. So parsing and execution will be done for all three queries. So this is how you could say. So parsing will be repeated for every SQL query. Now, so this is your routine job from the statement. The statement works like this. Now, but when you look at the same scenario in prepared statement, prepared statement is actually doing the query cache. So this is how you can see the prepared statement. Look at this. When you go with the prepared statement, first query will be parse and compile executed here. This is query parsing. Then when second query is running here, if second query is similar to the previous query but data set is different, so queries can be common. For example, I'm going to insert data in employee table through insert query. So initially I inserted first employee, then I inserted second employee, then I inserted third employee. The query will be same, only data will be changed in query. So in my first insert query I inserted Raj, in my second query I inserted Amit, in my third query I inserted Vivek. So data set can be different, but the syntax of query will be same. So let's assume that query 1, 2, 3 are similar queries and you have been planning to run it. So parsing will be done for first time, and next time this parser object will be reused here. So this is a trick here. This is reusing the parser object instead of recreating the parser object. So this will save your parsing time. Just a minute. So this is your parser object will be reused here, plus then execute the query. So this could be the procedure. So parser will be reused here, parser will be reused here. So the parsing will be done only once. So parsing will be done only once, and here you don't require parsing. So this will be the existing parser object will be reused here. So this is how you can see. So prepared statement will save your parsing time. This is prepared statement, and it is reusing the parser object for similar SQL queries. So we assume here that query 1, query 2, query 3 are similar queries, but data set can be different. So prepared statement will improve your performance. Now let's have a look at the summary on the prepared statement through a small slide. Just a moment. I'm going to talk about a small summary on this prepared statement. So look at this. Prepared statement is an extension of the statement, as we already talked. Now prepared statement reuses parser object for similar queries when data set where data set can be changed, and that's why it is faster than statement. So for statement, the parsing will be done in every query, but for the prepared statement case, parsing will be done first time, and for next time the same parser object will be reused. And now dynamic query building will be simple. So the query where question mark or parameter is supported is very simple, as we have already seen. So when you create a query through the concatenation, it will be little bit difficult, but here no need to write a lot of concatenation approach. Instead of that, you just use question mark as a placeholder or parameter. And next you can see here, it will handle the Peter D'Souza problem, that is nothing but your SQL injection. Already we had talk on this. And now uh, setting data in your parameterized query will be quite easier through this convenient approach. There are different methods given here. Set xxx, where xxx will be type. It can be your integer, it can be your float, it can be your string, it can be your date, it can be your timestamp, etc. So different kind of data can be replaced by this xxx, and here you have to put the column index, and the data you need to bind with the question mark, the data you need to bind in your query. So this is how you can see. So look at the example here. Set integer 1, first column will be id, second column will be name, third column will be date of birth. So that will be your date type. So there are different convenient method given inside the prepared statement to set different kind of data instead of writing question mark, double quote, single quote. So this is very simple. And now one more thing we can see here, it is it will not generate errors. So double quote, single quote or concatenation approach will create the problem, but when you have so many columns in your query, you will not get errors through this prepared statement approach. So this is very simple. We always recommend to use prepared statement. Now the prepared statement can be used for DDL queries, DML queries or any batch updates. So this is also supporting batch queries, we'll cover up in the coming series. And now the last point is, generally prepared statement is recommended for the similar queries, but as prepared statement has so many added benefits, we always recommend to use prepared statement only instead of statement. So always use prepared statement. It doesn't matter query is your similar query or it is a different query. So majority of the developer in industry follow the prepared statement approach instead of the statement. So do not use statement if you do not have a specific requirement. For most of the cases, prepared statement will be your right choice. So thank you very much for now. In next series we'll talk more on the JDBC. Thank you for now.